think that this is the only world that exists? If you've been keeping up with my books, you know that's not what I believe. Could there be another world out there? World of the supernatural? The world of the spiritual? Where angels fight against angels? My name is Vin DeQuino, and our next guest is going to talk about that very thing. Rebecca Cohen, let's talk writing.
All right.
A pleasure to have you here. You know you're hitting me right on my sore spot when you start talking about things like Into the Light. Tell me a little bit about who you are, and then let's talk about this world of good angels and bad angels fighting against each other. Who are you, Rebecca?
I'm basically a writer through and through. I'm working as an entertainment journalist right now.
Wow, an entertainment journalist.
Yeah.
What does an entertainment journalist do?
Pretty much what it sounds like. I do a lot of celebrity interviews.
Wow.
And I go to premieres and I do a lot of red carpet events.
Wow.
And just anything that's
That sounds
entertainment.
exciting.
It's really exciting. It can be a little intimidating sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's really exciting getting to talk to people that I've admired and people I've seen on TV, and it kind of puts them as just normal people for me. So now they're just...
Now, do you write out questions beforehand so that you're ready?
I do, but usually I'll play off of what they're saying. So sometimes I go off book. Yeah.
Sounds like this show.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. So you go and you ask them questions and you try to get them to say things that they wouldn't ordinarily say.
Yeah.
That's
Try and
good.
pull as much as you can out of them. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you get a dead horse.
Now, how did you get into that? Did you just suddenly say, you know what, I think I'll be a celebrity journalist?
I wish it were that easy. No,
No.
I went to school for journalism at SUNY
wow.
Purchase and got my degree in journalism. And
SUNY Purchase
kind of-
is a great school.
It is. It's beautiful
Yeah, I did some
campus.
writing courses there, and I just love the atmosphere there. There's a freedom of expression that just permeates the air there.
Yeah, it was very into creativity, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So you studied journalism. Did you learn anything there? What I mean, you know, people say you don't have to go to school to be a journalist or to be a writer, but there are some essentials that you can learn through school. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the teachers there were former journalists, so
Yeah,
you
so
learn a
that's-
lot from them. I learned a lot about feature writing.
And there are some basics that you should know as a journalist. Okay, so you go and do these celebrity interviews, and somewhere you went from celebrity interviews to writing books.
Well, actually, it was the other way around.
Oh, okay.
I've been writing, book writing, never published anything until recently, but I've been writing since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Little stories
In the
here
blood.
and there. Yeah.
In the blood.
Oh yeah. Took out my grandma's typewriter and I would write on it whenever I went to visit her up in Copake, really upstate. So I mean, I've been writing forever.
Yeah, and then you got into this. Now you have an uncle in the closet who was kind of into spiritualism.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, he lives in Israel and he does a lot of, I guess you would call it preaching in a way, about his beliefs.
He's a preacher.
In a way, yeah. I don't think
okay.
that's his exact title, but he comes to visit every once in a while. And last year he came for a visit, and we were talking about what the Bible believes angels are.
Does he speak English?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
You know, he moved from Florida to Israel.
Okay.
A long time ago. Yeah. So we just got into talking about the whole mythologies of angels and what the Bible believes, and then I kind of took that and just created what I thought would be interesting, because I didn't want to.
Took it and ran with it.
Yeah, I didn't want to insult anybody with what I was writing. You know, like completely change what the Bible says, but I wanted to create a world that I thought would be interesting for.
So this is not a religious book.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And what you did is you took the Bible and you kind of did your own take on it.
Yeah.
And isn't there a touch of mythology in this too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had a lot of inspiration when I was writing it, not just from my uncle, but from books I was reading, shows I was watching, movies, and I always had a fascination with what else is there beyond this world.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I've been so into this. You know, after I did Sybil Luddington, Paranormals came to me and said, hey, Vin, can you do for Sybil Luddington? Can you do for the dead people what you did for Sybil Luddington? And I said, what are you talking about? And they said, well, listen, we know where the ghosts are. We don't know who they are and why they're there. Can you like investigate these ghosts? Well, I started at Smalley's Inn right here in Carmel, New York. And man, these ghosts have stories. And the more you get into it, the more you realize dead people live here. You know, we're not alone here.
Yeah.
So you got into it, and it sort of went its own way.
Yeah, I didn't have any set plans on it.
One of the first lines in this book is, there are no such things as coincidence when it comes to matters of the paranormal. So the fact that you wrote this book, I don't think is accidental. Did you find that it just came? Were you just sometimes sitting in that computer and just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it takes you over?
Yeah, completely.
Yes. When do you write?
At all hours of the day, mostly at night when you should be sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm writing.
Right. Not me. I'm wide awake with you.
Yeah. My husband's passed out and I'm up writing. So.
Yeah. Now you're married.
Yes.
So, what does he think about all this?
He's proud of me. He doesn't.
Good.
He's never read any of my books, and I'm calling him out on that. But he's never read any of my books.
Not a surprise. It's usually, two separate worlds. I don't think my wife has read any of mine. Maybe one. I doubt it. But yeah, that happens, and it's your own world.
Yeah.
And it gives you an opportunity to go someplace where no one else can go, and that's what I love about writing. It's my world, and when I'm there, I'm there. So you've been there. How long did it take you to write this book?
I'd say it probably took me about 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Now that's 3 months of almost nonstop writing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And if her boss is listening, she didn't do it at work. Maybe lunch hours and breaks, but that's all. So day and night, people ask me that all the time. They say, do you write like every day? When I'm working on a book? Yes. Yeah. Then I take breaks where I don't write at all. I just kind of free my head for a little bit, pay the bills, take care of the yard, fix things that need to be fixed, and then I go right back in again. So do you have a schedule, or you just, when you write, you write?
I need a schedule, but whenever it comes to me, I just write.
Yeah, it's a haunting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's always there.
So this has a very interesting storyline, because there's a little love story in there too. The cover, if we can focus on this cover for a second, very provocative cover. If we can't get it now, we'll get it later. But we have a picture of a girl with her shoulder bared, and then it's provocative. So there is a love story in here.
There is.
Give me an idea of what the storyline of this book is.
Well, basically, it's about a girl named Catherine,
Okay.
who is your average senior high school student, very determined to go to law school. And one night she finds out that, that's not your destiny. Your destiny is to help the guides, who are the soldiers of heaven, and fight these fallen angels.
Wow, that's so wild, because in Emails to a Paranormal, and if you look, you'll see that that's also the light, and that's the whole idea, that the Father helps these souls go into the light. He helps them to cross over, and he calls himself an earth angel. And from earth, he has to help them. But he dies in a car accident, and the son inherits his job. And he has to now help earth angels. And the whole book is how, as he goes through to the end of the book, he realizes what his position and purpose on earth actually is. So interesting. So it's the same idea that this earth angel is going to help the people. The other angels appear. Now you have like the good angels versus the bad angels?
Yeah, the good angels, for lack of better terms, are called the guides.
The guides?
Guides, and they basically are in charge of bringing the descended, who are the fallen angels, back into purgatory, where they're supposed to be for eternity and have somehow escaped.
Not into Hades or hell.
No, I didn't want to do anything with
purgatory.
hell. Yeah.
That's funny, because that's exactly, this is the idea here, that there are souls who are trapped in this purgatory, and they can't move on until they've had closure on this life that they lived here, and that the people here can help them find closure so they can go into the light. And here, this is a picture of the family that this kid helps to go into the light. So what is going on? What is this war all about? I mean, is it an actual war between these two sets of angels?
Yeah, I mean, you
Wow.
don't see a lot of that in the book,
Yeah.
but basically the descended are trying to get back into heaven. And there's this mythical door that if, I think I said like 13 of them get back in, then it completely destroys everything. Heaven, hell, purgatory, everything is just kind of unleashed in a,
Wow.
yeah.
So this whole other world exists out there. So tell me a little bit about the love story part.
Well, basically, Catherine meets her guide, which is Ash, and
And he's a human?
no, he's a soldier of heaven.
Oh, soldier of heaven.
Yeah,
Okay, so
but he actually has his own secret. I'm not going to give it away, but
No,
he has his
no.
own kind of secret that he's hiding.
slip you $20 later, you tell me the secret.
No, I mean you find out pretty early on, but he's not. The rule is you're not supposed to fall in love with your. We call what I decided to call the Catherine's character is a tracker, so she's supposed to be able to find the descended, and take her guides to them so they can bring them back to
So
purgatory.
how does she see him? Does she see him in dreams, or does he
No,
appear to her?
He's just walking around basically. Anyone can see
So
him.
he takes a human form?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he takes his human form, and she doesn't. She's really human.
She's really human, and she doesn't get her abilities to find the descended, the fallen angels, until her 18th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So would you say that this is a high school book, or is it an everybody book?
It's I don't know if it was specifically high school. It's young adult.
But it will
so-
attract.
Oh yeah,
young
definitely.
adult
Anybody who
writers.
likes
Yeah,
books
I
like The
know.
Mortal Instruments, they'll like this.
I just went to Henhud High School to talk to a group of seniors who were so into this. They actually take a course on horror novels and literature that deals with the supernatural.
That's so cool.
And these kids are so into it. And it's just amazing how right now, when you just go on the TV. I was just on a program called The Dead Files. And these people are so into the supernatural, and more so than I think any era has ever been. And we're becoming more and more in touch with whatever it is out there. And the fact that you created this world, it's not accidental. I keep telling you that. There's no such thing as coincidence. This world needed to be known. And I think the fact that it's known through your book is great. So you created this character, and does it get more and more intense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially towards the
rising
end.
action to a climax where something big happens that changes things, that change the whole story, and then a resolution. But you don't really have a resolution because
It's the first book of a series.
this is the first book of a series. And you're going to write another book after this one.
I'm actually starting. I've already started the second book,
Wow.
which for some reason I'm having trouble with.
Don't you find that these characters haunt you to death?
They do.
And they keep saying, I'm not through yet. I have more to tell.
Yeah.
You can't stop writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haunt you. A kid asked me one time, he said, Mr. DeQuino, how do I know that I'm a writer? And I said, are you haunted? He said, what do you mean? I said, do you feel that you have to write because like the story's burning in your head? He says, yeah. I said, you're a writer. He said, yeah, I knew that. I said, well, that's good. I used to go and write in the morning or through the night, and then we'd have to go to my mother-in-law's to have dinner. And my mother-in-law would be looking at me and she'll say,